What if I told that you don't actually need thousands of dollars to start a business? Most people believe the first step is getting money. They think they need an office, expensive equipment, employees, a website, and a huge bank account. But that mindset is exactly what stops millions of people from ever starting. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Money can make starting easier, but it cannot make a bad business successful. Imagine two people. One has $20,000 but no customers. The other has $200 and 10 customers waiting to pay. Who has the better business? Obviously the second person. That's why the smartest entrepreneurs don't start by asking, how much money do I need? They ask a much more important question. What problem can I solve that people are already willing to pay for? And that one question can completely change how you think about business. Most beginners make the same mistake. They think of a product first. I want to sell t-shirts. I want to open a restaurant. I want to build an app. But there's a problem. Nobody cares about your product just because you created it. People pay for solutions to problems. Think about a busy restaurant owner. They may need more customers. A local gym may need better social media content. A real estate agent may need more leads. A small company may need someone to edit videos. These are problems. And problems create business opportunities. You don't necessarily need a factory or a warehouse to solve them. Sometimes all you need is a skill, your time, and a way to reach potential customers. That's why starting with a problem is one of the cheapest ways to build a business. Because instead of spending money creating something nobody wants, you find people who already want something, and then build the solution around them. Here's a simple challenge. Imagine you only have 100. You cannot rent an office. You cannot hire employees. You cannot buy thousands of dollars of inventory. So what can you do? You can start extremely small. Find a service people need. Learn enough to deliver it. Then find your first customer. For example, you could offer video editing to local businesses, or social media management, or cleaning services, or graphic design, or basic website setup. The goal isn't to build a massive company on day one. The goal is to prove one thing. Will someone actually pay you? If the answer is yes, you have something valuable. Then you reinvest the money you earn. Your first $100 becomes $200. Your $200 becomes $500. And eventually the business starts funding itself. This is completely different from spending $10,000 first and hoping customers appear later. Validate first. Spend later. Now we reach the uncomfortable part. Why do so many small businesses fail? It isn't always because the owner is lazy. And it isn't always because they didn't have enough money. One major reason is simple. They build something people don't want. Imagine someone spending 6 months creating a beautiful product. The packaging looks amazing. The website looks professional. The logo is perfect. Everything looks ready. Except one thing. Nobody wants to buy it. That business can lose thousands of dollars before the owner realizes the real problem. Successful entrepreneurs think differently. They test demand before making huge investments. They ask potential customers questions. They make small offers. They listen to feedback. And they change quickly. Because the goal isn't to protect your original idea. The goal is to find something people actually want. Your first idea doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be testable. There's another trap that destroys beginner businesses. Trying to look successful before becoming successful. A new entrepreneur gets excited. They buy an expensive logo, a fancy office, premium software, business cards, expensive equipment, maybe even a luxury car to impress clients. But none of those things create customers. Customers don't pay because your office looks expensive. They pay because you solve a problem. So in the beginning, keep your costs brutally low. Use free or cheap tools. Work from home if possible. Do the work yourself. Avoid unnecessary subscriptions. And most importantly, don't confuse business expenses with business progress. A $2,000 computer doesn't automatically create $2,000 in revenue. But one paying customer can. Spend money on things that directly help you acquire or serve customers. Everything else can wait. Your first customer is a milestone. Not because of the money, but because it proves your idea works in the real world. Imagine offering a service to 10 businesses. 9 say no. 1 says yes. That one yes teaches you more than hours of watching motivational videos. Now you know someone is willing to pay. You can ask what they liked, what they didn't like, what they actually needed. Then you improve. You find another customer, then another. Suddenly you're no longer guessing. You're building based on real information. This is how small businesses grow. Not from one giant breakthrough, but from repeated small wins. And here's something many beginners don't understand. You don't need 1,000 customers to start. You need 1, then 2, then 5. Your first goal isn't becoming rich. Your first goal is becoming useful. You can have the best product in the world and still fail. Why? Because nobody knows you exist. This is where many entrepreneurs get stuck. They spend months improving their product, but almost no time finding customers. That's backwards. If you have no money, you need to become extremely good at getting attention. You can contact local businesses, use social media, create useful content, ask for referrals, build relationships, offer a small free sample, or show potential customers exactly how you can solve their problem. The important thing is consistency. You might contact 20 people and hear nothing. Then number 21 responds, and that one response can become your first customer. The mistake is quitting after 10 rejections. Business isn't about avoiding rejection. It's about surviving enough rejection to eventually find the right customer. Let's say your business finally makes its first 500. What should you do? A beginner might spend it immediately. New phone, new clothes, dinner, entertainment. But a smart entrepreneur asks, how can I turn this $500 into more money? Maybe you invest in better equipment. Maybe you pay for a tool that saves hours of work. Maybe you run a small advertisement. Maybe you improve your website. Maybe you learn a skill that allows you to charge more. This creates a powerful cycle. Revenue creates resources. Resources improve the business. The improved business creates more revenue. And more revenue creates more opportunities. That's how small businesses become bigger businesses. Not by looking rich, but by continuously reinvesting into things that increase value. Early profits should build the machine, not feed the ego. There's one final reason many businesses fail. The owner quits too soon. They launch something. Nobody buys immediately. They get discouraged. Then they decide business doesn't work. But imagine going to the gym once and expecting a completely different body the next morning. It doesn't work that way. Business requires testing. You try one offer. It fails. You change it. You try another audience. You improve your marketing. You adjust your price. You learn. You try again. The first version of your business may be terrible. That's okay. Your job is to make version 2 better. Then version 3. Then version 10. The entrepreneurs who survive long enough to learn what customers actually want have a massive advantage. Because sometimes success isn't about having the best idea. It's about refusing to stop improving the idea. So, can you really start a business with almost no money? Yes, but there's an important condition. You need to stop thinking like someone waiting for the perfect opportunity. Start thinking like someone looking for problems to solve. You don't need a huge office. You don't need thousands of dollars. You don't need a perfect logo. You don't even need a perfect business idea. Start with a problem. Find someone who has that problem. Create a simple solution. Get one person to pay. Then improve. Then reinvest. Then repeat. That's the real path. Because the biggest advantage you have when starting with almost nothing isn't money. It's your ability to learn, adapt, and keep moving. And remember this, don't spend money trying to look like a successful entrepreneur. Spend your energy becoming one. Your first business doesn't need to make you rich. It needs to teach you how to create value. And once you learn that, you can build again and again.